Welcome back to Design with Miyoshi. Today we're going to make a full section. It's going to be a little bit different. It's called an aligned section. So let's get started. But first, I want to thank Northwest Technical Products for sponsoring this video. If you are part of an educational institution in Washington, Alaska, Oregon, Idaho, or Montana, contact Northwest Technical Products for all your SolidWorks and other technical needs. Thanks, Andrew, and all the crew at Northwest Technical Products. So I'm going to make a new part again. Just hit part, okay. And I'm going to make a new sketch. I'm going to do this in the front plane as well. And then all I'm going to do is make a bunch of circles. So I'll make 4 circles. 1, all centered on the origin. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Then I'm going to dimension them. So I'll smart dimension them. First one, 1/4. The next one. The next one. Oh, this is middle one. Let's not do that one yet. 1.5. And the middle one, but smallest one. All right, so there we have it. And if you watched the half section one, this looks like very similar. It's actually the same dimensions. I don't know if it's exact same dimensions in the book when I have my students use their calipers and all that good stuff, but it is today for what I'm doing. All right, now we're gonna make a keyway, and I'd like to do that here. So let's make this keyway. Oh, just make a line. Sorry. Just make a couple lines: vertical, horizontal, vertical. All right. Select, right-click and select, or you can just click the check over there. You have to click that twice. So then I'll add a relation. And again, this is a fun thing with the newer SolidWorks. You have this center point show up. So I'm going to grab the center point, even though most of the time I don't like it. I like it for this one. Grab the origin and make them vertical. All right, that makes it so it's centered on the circle there. Then I'm going to go ahead and start. I'll dimension the keyway. The keyway, again, if you remember from the half section one, I'm going to grab the circle because I want to dimension from the top of the circle to the keyway here, the top of the keyway. And that is going to be 1/2 of an inch. All right. It's also going to do the width here. So I'll grab that line and I'll make the width 21.75, or you can just put in 3/16. Like 3/16, that's good. And then again, I'll show a trim. I'll just grab this edge there, and I'll also show add relation way, grab the endpoint, grab the circle, and do coincident. Then I do have to do one trim to get that circle trimmed off. Notice again that the keyway is still dimensioned to the top of the circle, not to that endpoint. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and dimension this guy here. Oh, I dimensioned already. I'm going to extrude it. So let's do this. Oh, I don't want to put those guys in. I'm going to extrude it first. So nice thing about SolidWorks, if you know what you're doing with what model you're making, you can do whatever you need to. So I'll extrude by space. And this time, instead of a blind, I'm going to do a mid-plane because I know this is symmetrical about that plane. So I'm going to grab the contours. We'll grab the outside contours. Actually, let's grab the inside contours. We'll grab this guy here, and we'll extrude that. And then I'll hit the OK. Now extrude that guy both out and back for a total distance of 1.5. Then I'll hit the triangle, click on my sketch again. Notice if I don't do that, if I don't click on the sketch and I just try to go to boss extrude, it doesn't know what it's doing. So I need to make sure I click on the sketch first and then boss extrude. And then in the contours, I'll right click and clear selection. And instead, I'll grab this edge. Okay, oops. Notice how it stays on blind. I have to change that. So I'll do mid-plane. There it is. That's better. And I'll put this in there. 1/4. All right. Okay, and there we have my model. And what I just did there is I just clicked on my middle mouse, which is the wheel usually, to see what's going on. I can move that around in 3D. Now let's go back and let's look at the right side. Notice that it sticks out there, which is exactly what we want. All right, now we need to look at the front view again. So I'll go to the front view. Oops, I would much rather see this. So I'll go front view. Now what we need is 3 what I like to call spokes. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new sketch. So sketch, and I need that to be on the front plane again. So I'll click on this triangle and click front plane. Okay. Now all I really need to do is make a couple lines. So I'll make a line here, vertical line, right click and then change, and I'll make another vertical line here, right click and select. Okay. Now thing with the top part of this guy. I'll actually make one more line. I'll make one more line, and I'll just go from endpoint to endpoint. Okay. Right click, select. All right. Now what I want to do is I'll add a relation here, and I'll grab the center again, and I'll grab the origin, and I will make them vertical. Now I might have to do something else here later, but we'll do that for now. Okay. And then let's see here. I want to make. Let's put the line on the bottom too. I can make a rectangle. Let's put this guy here as well. All right. Okay. Now what I want to do is add relation. I will this line and that circle, forget the face, and I want them to be tangent. I don't want that on the bottom. Instead, I want this point and that circle to be coincident. Okay? Obviously, they're the wrong width there. Well, not obviously, but it made the width off from what I want. So I'll grab smart dimension, and I'll just go from edge to edge. Okay? All right, and let's see. Let's make that. I didn't know it's supposed to be. It's bigger than that. Yeah, it's bigger than that. So let's make this guy. All right, that's about right. And now I'm kind of done with the sketch. So that's our spoke, okay? And you can see that it's on that front plane. Now let's go ahead and go to features. We're going to do extrude boss space. We're going to do mid plane again. And we don't want that all the way out there. We only need that about 1/4 inch. There we go. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, what about the other 3? Or the other 2 rather? I said there were spokes. This wouldn't be a very good wheel. So what about the other two? Well, the nice thing about SolidWorks is there's this thing called a circular array. So I'll go back here, and that's pretty good. It's not quite done. There's some fillets here, so I'm going to put the fillets in. So I will go to fillet. I'm going to make this one just right. So I'll just make this guy. I'm going to make it smaller than I have, 0.0625 or 1/16. And I'll just grab each of these lines here, and I'll use my wheel as a button and turn this around the way so I can see everything. I grab all 4 on the bottom. I'll grab these 3 so far on the top, and 1 more. There we go. So I got 8 little surfaces there, or it's not surfaces, but 8 edges. Hit OK, and there we have it. There's my fillets all the way around those edges. Now, I only have 1 spoke. I want 3. So what I'm going to do here is go to under linear pattern. There's a triangle, and I want a circular pattern. And what I want is I need to see the center of the circle. Some people like to grab circles. I don't really like that, so I'm going to come up here to view. So that triangle by SolidWorks, right? Triangle by SolidWorks just brings this other menu. And of course, you could. I think you can make that guy stick there all the time, but I have not done that. I'll go to view, and I want to display. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Should be under display. Oh, hide show. I want to show my temporary axes. Okay. So temporary axes shows me the centers of circles or spheres, or well, not a sphere, centers of circles or cylinders. So there's a center of the circle. So I'll grab that. So this guy is the direction around which I'm rotating. So I'll grab that center. And notice it tries to make it through a certain degree. Well, that's not what I want. I want equal spacing. When I do equal spacing, it defaults to 360 degrees or all the way around the circle. And you notice that it has 2. Well, I want 3. And notice that the other thing is that it's only doing the fillet. Well, I don't want just the fillet. I want the other part. Now I can grab that part here, or I could do the triangle, and I can grab by part 2 and grab the boss extrude 3. And there, now it shows me that I'm going to have all 3. And that looks right. So I'll hit OK. And that is my part. Notice that it's all centered. One thing I do notice, my students every once in a while, they will make this boss extrude. If I edit that guy, a lot of times instead of making it mid-plane, they'll make this blind. And that actually will break this right now, but just make sure it's mid-plane on this particular one. That way it's all centered and beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to save this up. All right, and this is 9-50K. Oops, I have cap locks already. I like that with the caps. 950K. And then I'll, of course, make my drawing from part. Okay, ANSI A again. And if you didn't show that you wanted ANSI, you might have to, show, not to show standard formats. ANSI A landscape, hit OK. And again, I can drag this front view over there, but I don't like to do that. I can do it the same way every time. Drawing, model views. That's the drawing I want. Hit the next. I want only one view. It looks like I'm using the front view, which is good. I want hidden lines and sheet scale. All right, so that's good. I'll drag this guy over. I'm going to drag it to the left part this time. Okay, and that is the view I want. So I'll just hit the OK. Now again, notice there are those tangent edges showing, so I can right-click on this guy. Tangent edge, remove. That looks a little better. And then we're going to do our section view. Now this section view is slightly different. It's not a half section, it's a full section, but it's this aligned section. Because what I want to do is, I don't want to just make it right down the middle. Let's just try that. If I make this right down the middle, it just makes like that, and you get this funny thing over there. Says, what's that? Well, that's because I'm cutting it through here, and you can kind of see that stuff. But I don't want that, so let's get rid of that. And I'm just hitting the delete key. Okay, so instead I'll do section view, full section, align section. Now I'll grab the center. Then I'm going to grab vertical. Make sure that little yellow vertical is there. See how it's not there, and then it is on the right side of that pencil. So make sure it's vertical. Now, really nice if we could just make this parallel with this guy, but we really can't. We just kind of eyeball that to make it parallel to these 2 lines here. So I'm going to just eyeball that, and that looks good. Click there. I'll hit the check, and I'll place this guy over here. Now, the arrows show that it's actually looking from left to right. That's not exactly what I want. It's not going to make any difference over here, but I want to flip direction. Okay, that's more correct. Now I'm looking this direction toward the B, the way the arrows are pointing. And again, I want to change this from B to A, make sure it's a capital A. And there you go, section A. There we have it. So now I hit OK. I'll bring in my dimensions. Looks beautiful there. I'll bring in my dimensions, model item annotation, model items, tire model, import model views, hit check. And again, it does some funky things here. So I will probably keep a few, but well, not all of them. So we'll move this 0.50 up. We'll move the keyway dimension up. I'll probably bring that 19 down, 0.9. I'll make that 4 decimals. So I can see that. Oh, that's 5. Can't count. All right. What's this radius? Oh, that's the fillet. I could probably, instead of this guy, would probably be better to put a note of some sort. There's a note. And I'll just zoom out a little bit and put a note down here and say, all fillets are. Okay, all fillets are 0.065 or 1/16 of an inch. And then I don't even need this dimension. All right, and then that looks good on that. It's kind of messy here, but that's about the only way you can do that. I'll come over here, and I'll bring this 0.5 up. I'll bring this 1.25 up. I'll bring this 0.25 up. Oops, wrong thing. Okay, and that was probably not the best, but I don't have many choices because over here I'm violating the never, ever, never, ever cross the dimension lines. So I'll bring that endpoint up there. I might have to just violate that absolute rule, which of course, if you know things about rules, there's no absolute rules. There's always an exception to every rule except that rule. Okay, and there we go. We'll bring that up, endpoints up, and point up. And that looks pretty good. Again, except for this, I might leave it in the center there, even though that's messy. I like that better than violating the never ever cross dimension lines. So then we'll get rid of this guy. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Not that I don't need that. It's just not as good in that view. I'm gonna leave this here until I dimension mine. Until I dimension the keyway. So I'll just go to smart dimension. Let's dimension the keyway first. Then I can get rid of that. Hold the shift key down. Grab the circle. Grab the top of the keyway, and then we'll bring that out here. Beautiful. And then I'll go ahead and get rid of that dimension over there. And then I will continue. I'll dimension that. And although I would like to dimension the distance between there, I'm gonna go ahead and just dimension that. I'll dimension these guys a little better over here and here. Now, even though this is radius, I'm gonna go ahead and change that to a diameter dimension. There we go, that's much better. And I'll change it to 3 decimals. Okay, there we have it. This is the kind of wheel with some spokes there. This is a fun little drawing. Oh, I need to make sure I edit my title block. So I'll do that. Get out of my smart dimension annotation. Oops, don't need the annotation. Right click, edit sheet format, and again, I'll do my name, and then I'll do the date. Didn't get there. And then I'll do title. And it's probably redundant, but I still like to put it in there. And then I'll do. There we go. Right click on sheet. Right click on sheet format, and then edit sheet. Zoom out. Save. Save all. That works. That's a good name. And then I will finally do a save as and save this as a PDF. Okay. So there you have it. A wheel with a keyway, all kinds of fun stuff. An align section. This drawing has quite a few, the drawing and model have quite a few cool things. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Design with Miyoshi.